Welcome back to ATDA Now, the YouTube channel of the American Train Dispatchers Association. My name is Bill Sykes. I'm a train dispatcher. I'm an ATDA member, and I'm also a national officer of the organization where I serve as secretary treasurer. This video series is designed to provide you with straightforward answers on the benefits of organizing with ATDA as your representation. So if you're considering unionizing and you have questions and you need answers, you've come to the right place. Today, in this video, we're going to have an informal discussion with another ATDA member, another train dispatcher who's got some unique perspective on the benefits of the ATDA. This is Dion Waddy. He was once a train dispatcher at the Union Pacific Railroad. Now he's an ATDA member with representation as a train dispatcher at the BNSF Railroad. So Dion, welcome to our YouTube channel. And how's it going today?
I'm doing great, Bill. How about yourself?
Buddy, I'm doing better than I deserve. I can assure you that. But hey, it's really great to have you on, man. Having talked to you, you got a real magnetic personality and a lot of good insight to share, and a valued member of our organization. So I can't wait for the folks that are out there watching to kind of get to know you a little bit, and also to hear about your story, because I think it's going to pay them some dividends if they hear what you have to
Well,
say. So
thanks for having me, Bill. I'm happy to help just to tell my experiences and my story. So thank you.
yeah, man, I'm looking forward to it. So, hey, let's jump right in. Um, Listen, first of all, I understand you're a veteran and now among our ranks at the ATDA as a railroader. So, thank you for your service. And I want to just use that as an opportunity to let you tell the listeners and the viewers out there just a little bit about how you got from there to here and how that's gone for you.
Bill just kind of started off like most things and most people's journey in life. It was opportunity and started off small town, kid from a small town, went into the military. Didn't really know what I was getting myself into, and then started off being an air traffic controller there in the military. Did about 7 years in the military as air traffic controller. And my buddy from the military, close friend of mine, who's also used to be a previous dispatcher at the UP. Now he's at BNSF, and he told me about the opportunity of dispatching. So
Cool. And so he first invited you to join him at the Union Pacific.
yeah, we were both shopping around, trying to see what opportunities we could grab right after the military, and air traffic control was an option, but train dispatcher is closely related. So he
Sure.
told me about the UP.
Yeah, I talk to air traffic controllers sometimes, and they say, "Well, we don't have brakes on the airplane." I'm like, "Well, our trains can't turn, so we got limited options here, buddy."
Yeah, true, true.
But yeah, man. So all right, so he got on with Union Pacific. Now, why don't you tell our viewers a little bit about what it was like to be a train dispatcher there, how long you were there, and why you left for the BN?
Um, it was a great opportunity. Again, not knowing what we were getting ourselves into. It was just something fresh and new, and again, closely related. And we first went there, we didn't know what to expect. The training, everything from the people, and just seeing a corporation and working with trains and learning about them. So
Mhm.
unique experience there. And I stayed there for a couple years, a little over a couple years, and great experience. A lot of things that happen. Again, everything's new and fresh. So
Sure.
best and worst train dispatching job for me, because that's the only thing I have to compare it to. And leaving there was it was tough to do, and I was reluctant at first. My buddy left about a year prior to me and kept telling me to come over to BNSF, and eventually I did. And yeah, that's my story so far. Yeah.
So when he was telling you to come over, what was the selling point? What was he telling you?
Oh, he mentioned the pay. He mentioned being in the union, of course. He mentioned a lot of different benefits when you work on salary, as opposed to, you're protected by the ATDA. When we come in, if I'm not supposed to work that day, or I work an extra day that week, I get paid extra.
Right.
Other benefits such as that, protections when things happen, if mistakes happen or investigations. I wasn't used to all of that. It sounded kind of scary at first. If I'm being frank, it sounded a little too good to be true. Especially when the new contract came out, and I ended up messaging him. I'm just like, look, you guys are already, if it is how you say it is, you guys are already head above heels. Like you're already getting so much. Like stop asking for more because it might start to affect us on salary. I told him that, and eventually, like I came and yeah, looking back, it's just like again, I don't fault myself because I don't know what I don't know, but if I knew then what I know now, the same old story. So
So here's the $1 million question: was it too good to be true, or was he right?
he was right and then some. Walking in, just the environment again, overall environment. Love my brothers at UP, love the family at
Sure,
UP.
we
But
do too.
yeah, that's what made it the toughest to make that transition as well. A lot of those guys know that, and women. But once I actually transitioned over, I'm like, just the environment as a whole is like it just feels different. It's like people, they want to come to work. They're trying to fight to learn as many desks and get involved more because it's incentivized heavily, and that would be the major difference that I would say when it comes to being at UP and BNSF, and credit to the union because you actually get incentivized for doing more work.
Gotcha. So just a much better work culture overall, and a better morale, and just a better place to work at this point because of the ATDA representation.
Yes, exactly. I remember times at UP I've worked 17, 18 days in a row, and I'll tell people about it. And I didn't really care. I don't have a family, so
Sure.
it's not a huge ordeal. I want to start one, of course. So, but I figured by that time, I get a little bit more seniority, maybe hold a job. But some of the things that I watched others complain about a lot, it didn't bother me as much. But now being on the other side to where not only would it not bother me if that happened, but now, I'm getting compensated for it, which is always a plus. I mean, if I'm going to
Sure.
work a certain number of days in a row or extra days, I'm not going to turn down extra money, worrying
Sure.
about, a family or not. So.
Yeah. So all right. So you mentioned the pay. How did that change for you in your case? What changed with your pay, not only in terms of what were you making, but how it progressed and the timeline of that? Can you tell our viewers a little bit about that?
So when I was over there, again, as you mentioned, I'm a veteran, so prior military. I get VA, Veterans Assistance, for my healthcare. So healthcare is always a big thing, especially in today's economy.
Hmm.
But having that taken out of my check, I wanted every dollar I could.
Sure.
So I went zero for their healthcare over there. I didn't want it. I pretty much zeros on everything to maximize my pay. And
You talking about a UP?
yes, at UP,
Okay, gotcha.
and I was making about 5,300 a month, once a month. Was also a huge factor because it's the first time I've been paid just once a month instead of bi-weekly or weekly. Um, and I was still making about 5,300. Transitioning, just entry pay, starting off when I moved to BNSF. Day one, I was getting the full rate, and I watched my paychecks go from 5,300 a month to close to 8 grand a month. And we're talking about net pay. Sometimes it fluctuates, but I never seen it get below 7 grand since I've been here for almost a year in a few months. Never hit below 50, 3,500 every 2 weeks. So, and that helps because a lot of people can't manage money as well.
Right. And let's
Monthly, that's
let's
hard.
be perfectly fair, make sure we're apples to apples. Did you opt out of the National Health and Welfare Plan at the BN as well?
No, I did not.
Okay, and we didn't talk about this beforehand.
No,
I just
no,
want to make
I
sure
didn't
I
even
hear it
realize that.
right. You had to opt out, and those that are at the UP, I don't want to make light of this because we want to help them get a better situation healthcare wise. They're paying astronomically, either on the front end or the back end. Whereas at the BN, you're part of the National Health and Welfare Plan negotiated in part by the ATDA, and it's less than $300 a month for a higher percentage of coverage plan, no matter how many dependents you got. But you're saying you had to opt out at UP just to get to that 5,300 a month, whereas it's rarely under 8,000 a month, even with the healthcare costs at the BN day one.
Yes, and I would caveat that by saying, with both the BN and UP, I think during the whole process, because there's so much going on, I think you're automatically opted in like the first year or until it comes to like the fiscal year, the November timeframe. So I think
Hmm.
that's what happened at UP. And then I opted out once I realized like I don't need
Gotcha.
this. So
I
that's what
gotcha.
happened over there. And then here, I didn't opt out probably for the same reason, but I don't plan on it because I am planning on starting a family so
Sure.
soon. So I'm gonna need it anyway. So
Yeah, I got you, man. And again, the price you pay if you have 6 kids, it's still the same price.
yeah, yeah.
So, all right. I've heard quite a bit. We've got an increasing number of UP trained dispatchers who are reaching out to us and talked about how they have like kind of a quasi seniority, but it can be a scenario where maybe you got 10 years on the job and that job you've been waiting for comes open, but they reserve the right to be like, well, we don't like you on that one. So we're not going to give it to you, even though you're the senior bidder. Can you tell the viewers a little bit about what real seniority does for you at the BN, in addition to all the high level pay and negotiations? I'm talking about on the day to day.
Yeah, real seniority. I definitely felt the effects of it coming here. That was also a reason I was almost reluctant to switch. But I knew that the union, how my buddy made it sound was I needed to do it. But giving up your seniority is a lot, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years,
Sure.
especially going to the extra board. But with that being said, seniority matters a whole lot because no matter what job it is, if you have the seniority, it's yours. Same thing with
Right.
vacation. It's a hard. We stick to seniority, so that's the main. That's the golden rule, and in all facets. So that helps extremely a lot. When I went over to the BNSF or when I came over here, I was in a class with people who had kept paying their union dues. Left, I think one of them left for like 17 years to go do another job, and
Hmm.
came right back, kept the same seniority, and pretty much got almost whatever job he wanted on the floor. So seniority definitely matters, and it
It's
gives
life
you something
changing.
to reach for. So
And like you said, you're a young guy, man, but you're starting to think about the future. You're saying, well, maybe I don't have, bad back now, but this is a career position, and so I need to position myself with better health care. And in the same way, that seniority, like at first it seems daunting, but then you climb that roster faster than you think. Those days go by fast. It matters so much, and so I think it's important perspective. And I'll be honest, man, we've talked about the culture, we talked about seniority, we've talked about pay, we talked about pay progression, we've talked about the health insurance. Look, we're going to be covering a lot more on our videos. I think you said it, man. So the last question I would have for you is, what would you say to those UP train dispatchers? You know those guys, you care about them. We're getting to know them too. We care about them. We're train dispatchers helping train dispatchers. So what would you say to those who are contemplating this important decision on whether or not to unionize with the ATDA?
I would say for those who've never been in the union, such as myself, same feeling when I first went off to the military. I didn't know what I didn't know. So it's kind of, not gonna say afraid, but I was skeptical. And I kind of, before I switched to BNSF, I like my norm because it might not have been the best and there's things that could be improved, but I wasn't willing to quote unquote take that risk for things to be worse or something that a surprise that I didn't know. From
Sure.
my experiences, from knowing those guys over there, a lot of things that I've heard complained about or we complained about on a daily, it solves a lot of those problems. Nothing's perfect, of course, but it's definitely a decision that the longer you wait, eventually, if it does happen, you'll be looking back saying, why didn't this happen sooner? So that's
Yeah.
that's what I would say. Don't wait.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Listen, we just want to be forthright. Again, trained dispatchers ourselves, and we respect people's decisions. We just want to connect them to information that helps them make an informed decision apart from corporate propaganda. And I think what you said resonates with me, and I think it's going to resonate with them as well. So we're going to wrap it up there, but for those of you that are watching, we're here for you. If you want to talk to me personally, email me info@atda.org. That's info@atda.org, just like American Train Dispatchers Association. But if you need more information and you'd like to handle this discreetly in the privacy of your home, we've set up a website. That's atdanow.org. atdanow.org. That website was designed just for you. It's got the resources. We've got information about the healthcare. This is one in a series of videos. We're putting out more weekly. You can review collective bargaining agreements that we've negotiated. You can see all the lists of the things we've got going on. We've got healthcare comparisons. You owe it to yourself and to your family. Even if you're like Dion here and that you haven't got that family yet, but it's coming. You owe it to yourself to think about your future and make sure you make an informed decision. And we'll respect whatever you decide, but we want to help. So, hey, and if you've already decided, if you said, look, I've heard enough, you can download an A card, which is an authorization card. That's the first step in the process. You fill it out, you submit it to us. And when we get enough of those, we're going to force a vote and we're going to come in and help you. You can find that on atdanow.org. But for now, for Dion, a valued member of the ATDA, for myself, Bill Sykes, a member of the ATDA, and all of us nationwide from Alaska to Miami to New York to Texas, and hopefully soon Omaha and spring. My name is Bill Sykes. I'm with the American Train Dispatchers Association. We're here to help you. So we wish you the best, and we'll talk to you on the next video. Goodbye.